Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Good morning, Coxie.
Good morning, Warwick.
You're not bouncing off the walls this morning, are you, Coxie?
I feel a little melancholy.
Aww. Come here and I'll give you a ghost hug.
I would like a hug. I've had a few this morning, but they're not cutting the mustard, so I'll take all hugs. If you'd like to line up out the door, we'll hug one at a time. That'd be lovely today.
Listeners, please join with me in sending Coxie ghost hugs this morning.
I need them all.
Coxie's a bit sad.
I'm devastated. That's sad.
I bet Son isn't devastated though.
No, he's pretty wrapped. He did like his gift, so we're kicking goals here this morning.
So for those that have been living under a very large rock, Coxie's boy turned 18 on the weekend.
Today.
He's you had the gig on the weekend, though.
We did, yes. Well, the gig with two family members coming for lunch.
But it begs the question, Coxie, when do we actually turn the age? Is it when we have the gig or is it on the actual day when nobody does anything in particular?
Well, he's allowed to have a couple of drinks with Mum, so I'd say on the weekend at the gig, he turned 18 for me, in my mind. It was a bit weird. It's a very weird thing, having a drink with your kid.
Is this the first time you've done that?
Yeah. Well, no, we've got the elder children, so we've done it with them. But Blake.
No, I mean with this boy.
Yes.
Oh, you've named him. Okay.
I have. He's my baby.
So,
he's the littlest for me. It's
baby
weird.
Blake. G'day, Blake, if you're listening, which is unlikely. Who am I kidding? He's an 18-year-old boy. Why would he listen to this podcast? Especially because you're on it. As in
I know.
his mum.
They all listened to the Eshe episode. They love that. That went on for ages, that one.
He's a grown-up Eshe now.
He is. Well, he's the lad.
My gosh, I can't keep up with this stuff.
Well, you got to remember there was a lad and an Eshe. I've got one of each.
Oh, I just never know which is which.
They're both bloody feral and they should just grow up and stop acting the clown, but, they're good kids.
So why is your baby turning 18 the cause of such melancholy, Nicole?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm losing grip on, you know what? It's got nothing to do with him and everything to do with me. I'm not ready for my kids to be grown-ups.
You're making this all about you.
It's always all about me, Warwick. Have you not figured that out?
I don't know how I'm going to feel. I got a way to go. Well, 10 years.
A long time.
It's going to go pretty quickly, I suspect, because the last 8.5 seem to have flown by.
They do fly. And there's no way to prepare. It just kind of happens. Exactly right.
Yeah. So 18, big grown up. Does anything really change though these days?
No, he's just allowed to drink now. Yeah. That's all that changes. And he's got to vote, which he's not particularly happy about.
He has to participate in politics.
And it's difficult because he comes from, my side or our side. This household is on one side of the fence and his father's household is on the other side of the fence. So poor kid does not know what to do. Has firm opinions on both sides of the fence. Makes it a little challenging. Anyway.
I've got a suggestion. Donkey vote.
Well, I think that's invariably what will happen.
It's that way you just don't buy into either side.
Or just tell Mum you'd voted her way and tell Dad you voted his way and everyone will be happy.
Oh, tell Porky Pies.
Well, tell me an 18-year-old that doesn't know how to tell a good porky pie.
Yeah, true.
Not that they need to anymore because they're adults and they can do as they please in theory.
But that's what I was sort of getting at before, and I didn't make my point very well at all, clearly. Does 18 mean anything other than drinking these days?
I don't know. I don't know that as 18-year-olds we respect the changes that it does create. The only other one really is the ability to vote. What else is there? Is there anything else you can't do until you're 18?
Go to jail?
No, you can go to detention.
Yeah, but that's not jail.
Is there a big difference though?
Oh, I think there is.
I don't want to get in there with the big boys things. I'm 40 years old and I'm still shit scared of going to jail.
Well, you become an adult, a legal adult. So you can sign contracts, you can enter into leases, you can do all sorts of scary stuff once you turn 18.
But does the regular 18-year-old do that at 18 or 25?
Well, fortunately not. And I think here we go. I'm going to stay right away from that. Wouldn't everybody like to know what thought just popped into Waz's head? I was going to make some social commentary. I just don't think 18 is that big a deal anymore. I think maybe one day it used to be. You could go to war and all sorts of stuff.
Do you know what I think isn't a big deal anymore? 21.
Yeah, well, it's kind of never been in Australia. It's very much an American thing because that's their legal age for a lot of stuff.
Wasn't it ours at some point in time too?
I don't remember.
Well, no, it was well before our time. Can you remember your 18th birthday?
I can.
You didn't do it right.
See, that's the thing. I had a drink over dinner with my family. That was it.
My son says that's weird. It's weird drinking with your parents, and it's not meant to be about that. It's meant to be going out with your mates.
I didn't have any to go out with, so.
Oh well. Sorry about that.
I just went to dinner with my mum and dad and my brother. So, I had a in terms of the broader standard, I had a very lackluster 18th. But I did have a slightly different upbringing to many people my age. So, no, 18th wasn't a big thing. 21st, not so much either.
No, I had a kid by 21.
That's impressive, Coxie.
Well, get them over and done with early.
Talk about growing up quickly.
God, yeah. Yep. I don't think it matters what age you're at. You grow up pretty quickly once you have a child. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
And then each child brings their own challenges, so you tend to grow up all over again.
Yeah. And it's a whole nother level of responsibility.
It's massive.
Yeah. Well, 18, hey? Those are the days. It's not
making me feel any better.
They weren't actually. I actually, you know what? I don't look back on my late teens with a level of fondness, wishing I was back there. Although I never grew up past 19, really. You know, I'm a 40-something year old man who still thinks like a 19-year-old in a lot of ways.
You do,
I don't miss those days. They were pretty tough times for me in my life. So, but I know a lot of people look back on 18 or 22 or whatever, and it's like, oh man, I was having such a great time back then, and I kind of wish I could go back. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's pretty much sucked for me. I had no friends. I didn't like what I was doing at university, and I was kind of glad to grow up.
Do you have a favourite time in your life?
Right now, Coxie. I'm not kidding, listeners. I'm serious for a change. No, right now, this is I'm really feeling like I have a good sense of who I am. I've got a level of confidence that I've never had in my life. I have some fantastic relationships, even with you. I feel like I'm making a difference in the world. My daughter's growing up. And despite the Rona and everything else and some of the financial challenges that have come with that, I feel like, I'm really doing that middle age thing that a lot of people talk about. You just really feel like you're coming into your prime. So yeah, my favourite time is now, Coxie.
Interesting.
How about you?
I've got two favourite times. I'd say maybe 11, 12 years ago when I first realised who I was or found my strength again. That's a better way to put it. Come out of a difficult marriage, difficult separation, and remembered who I was. And it was the freedom to be reminded of who I was rather than being sort of stuck somewhere that wasn't healthy for me. So I would say then that was, 13 years ago now. And again now, because I can feel a real sense of knowingness, knowing who I am, knowing who the builder is, knowing who my children are, knowing who you are, knowing who our community is. It's a comfortable place to be in. Maybe the middle-age thing. I do love being 40-something and not having cares to give so much and not being weighed down by expectation. Yeah, so both for the same sort of reason. I feel like I'm just refinding who I am again now.
It's interesting. What about you, listeners? Do you have a favourite time in your life? Do you look backwards on life and wish you were back somewhere else, or are you more of a no? This is good. I like where I'm at now. Be interesting to get your thoughts. And if you've had kids become grown-ups recently, perhaps it can help Coxie out.
Oh, I need a hug. Somebody just come and give me a hug. Somebody come and ring my doorbell and give me a hug.
I'm not ringing your bell. So, yeah, if you haven't found us online yet, listener, yes, I'm talking to you. Wondering if I'm talking to you. That's me talking to you. Go and, first of all, give us a review on iTunes and help some other tradies find this amazing podcast, like just epically high-quality distribution of content. And go and give us a review.
Like blowing our own horn.
On iTunes. But seriously, help some other tradies find this podcast because it still astonishes me how many of our members, our clients, our awesome rock stars in our community have found us via this podcast. So one way you can actually pay it forward is to leave us a review because it helps us get back up in the rankings so that people see our podcast when they go searching for, when they type in best trade business podcast ever. That way it helps Tradies in Business pop up instead of some of those other podcasts that we won't talk about.
Are there any?
Oh, there's none that hold a candle to us, Nicole.
Of course not, Warwick. We know that. So do our listeners. That's why they're still listening through our waffle.
I know. So, yeah, go leave us a review on iTunes. We will be rewarding the best couple of reviews, either for creativity or accuracy or bribery, with some merchandise, some Tradies in Business merch. We've got caps and stubby coolers. We'll be selecting an appropriate item to send you. And one very skilled reviewer, because this is not a game of chance, it's not a competition. One very skilled reviewer will actually get 3 months sponsorship into the Trade Desk, because one of our Trade Desk members wants to sponsor someone in because they reckon it's so awesome. They've actually put up $150 to sponsor someone into the Trade Desk for 3 months. So go leave us a review and you get your hat in the ring for that one.
Pretty cool, hey?
Yeah, I think that's very generous, that whole pay it forward thing, and that's quite a generous offer, actually.
We've had it happen a few times now, which is lovely.
Yeah, we've had a number of members do the same thing. So go leave us a review. And speaking of the Trade Desk, Coxie, it is still free until June 30, 2020.
Not long to go.
So if you're still procrastinating about it, if you've heard us talk about this thing called the Trade Desk, go to the website, www.tradiesinbusiness.com.au, click on the Work With Us link thingamajig at the top and go find out about the Trade Desk there. You can join for free until June 30. You'll need a coupon code, Tradies for Tradies. We've talked about it enough. Go and do it. Stop procrastinating. Just get it done.
Now, tomorrow we have another serious episode, don't we? And it's not you and I, it's you and I and a guest.
Yes, another guesty guest. A bricklayer.
It's an interesting story. Casey was a lot of fun.
So if you want to hear from a bricklayer, tune in tomorrow. Very articulate bricklayer, actually.
Extremely. A high-achieving bricklayer.
Yes. So that'll be a good episode tomorrow. Keep an ear out for that. And apart from that, love your ear holes. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic week. Make Monday your biatch. And we'll speak to you, tomorrow. Even though we recorded it, not tomorrow.
No. I'm just going to go back to crying. Thank you for your ghost hugs. I'll see you
Send
tomorrow.
Coxie your ghost hugs, everybody.
Please
Hooroo.
do. Bye.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.